Chapter 4. Ian Adams Reacts. Ian Adams sat at his desk, the glow of his laptop screen casting long shadows across the dimly lit office. The article in front of him read like something out of a dystopian novel. The Anti-Profits Judas Project nears billion-dollar funding goal. Public backing surges. $1 billion. $1 billion raised to kill God. Ian rubbed his temple, leaning back in his chair. He had seen a lot in his years: seminary life, priesthood, his eventual break from the Catholic Church. But this was madness. The Anti-Prophets weren't just another secular think tank. They weren't content to push atheism through debates or books. They wanted to rewrite history itself. And the worst part? No one was stopping them. Ian scrolled further, scanning for a statement from the Vatican. Nothing. The Church had remained silent, dismissing the Judas Project as irrelevant. No official opposition, no denouncement, nothing. He exhaled sharply and reached for his phone. First call, Reuben Bieber, a scientist, a lecturer on the Shroud of Turin. Ian had met him years ago at a symposium, and if anyone had insight into this kind of technology, it was Reuben. The phone rang 3 times before a voice answered, groggy and irritated. "Ian, it's late." "I need to know something," Ian said, skipping the pleasantries. "Do you think time travel is possible?" A pause. "Time travel?" Reuben's voice sharpened. "Where is this coming from?" "The Anti-Prophets, the Judas Project. They claim they're working on it, and they just raised $1 billion. Reuben swore under his breath. $1 billion? Jesus. "If they pull this off, they'll try to change everything," Ian said. "I need to know if this is just a fantasy or if there's actual science behind it." Reuben sighed. "Theoretically, there are theories, quantum mechanics, Einstein-Rosen bridges, the works. But practically, no one's come close. Even if they solved the physics, the logistics alone would be a nightmare, not to mention the paradoxes." "So you think it's impossible?" "I think it's improbable, but with $1 billion, they'll get closer than anyone ever has." That was enough for Ian. Second call, Ira Cohen, a social psychologist, fellow Baptist, and one of the sharpest minds Ian knew. "Ian," Ira answered, his voice clipped, "you sound tense." "Because I am. Have you heard about the Anti-Prophets?" "Of course, everyone has." "Then you know what they're planning, if they actually pull it off." "If," Ira interrupted, "you're assuming this will work. But let's say it does. Even if they go back, do you really think history is that easy to rewrite?" Ian hesitated. "Even if they stop Abraham, Moses, or even Christ, history won't just vanish. People will still search for God. Faith isn't just about one event, it's woven into the fabric of humanity." Ian exhaled. "So you think they'll fail?" "Not necessarily," Ira said. "I think they'll fail the way God wants them to. But I also think you're calling because you want to do something about it." Ian rubbed his jaw. "I can't sit by and do nothing." "Then you already have your answer." Ian hung up and stared at the article again. If the Church wouldn't intervene, then he would. He needed a team. He picked up his phone, and he started making more calls.